Ever heard of a 20-day automatic approval for a crypto ETF? That countdown has just started to tick. And with the SEC ticking down the clock, Ripple is quietly gearing up to completely change how XRP moves with their banking license. Hi, Tarun Freestone, coming to you wherever you are out there in the world. If you like this content, please like and subscribe to this channel. It really means a lot to me and helps the YouTube algorithm push the content and value that I can bring to those out in the digital financial space. As this is my initial video, it's important to note I've been an XRP investor since 2020, and I owe it all to a close friend who spoke to me one fateful day on the bridge in Darling Harbour, Sydney, Australia. It took me a while to pull the trigger, but ever since I did, later in June 2020, it's been a wild but a blessed ride. Big shout out to following fantastic influencers and business people who've assisted me along my own journey, like Jake Claver, Blockchain Backer, Bearable Bull, Waters Above Crypto, just to name a few. Eager to join now the fraternity and deliver with an Aussie twist, the same flavor you guys have been doing over in the States. Just to be on par, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Everything I say is purely my opinion and theorizations. Consult with a financial advisor before buying crypto and understand the risks involved before you do. All right, let's get into it. Wrapping up the week that's been in what feels like an increasingly fast paced reality, wishing all Americans and people that choose to celebrate Halloween happy Halloween. I'll be touching on what's going out there on the X sphere, or formerly known as the Twitter sphere, including the ETF, rate cut, and Ripple new banking license, before diving into a modeling of what a $5 billion inflows could mean for XRP, finishing with some mild analysis of my own, both factual and a little on the woo-woo vibe. So before all that, let's check out the price. It's $2.51 American, or for my brothers down under and sisters down under, it's $3.79 Australian. I'll be doing the events out in the wide world, but I'll be doing an Aussie flavour on it. And just for our side of things, what a rate cut. What a buy the rumour and sell the news event. That was hilarious. $2.70 all the way down to $2.42. On that, XRP has fallen 7.5% this week, and we have hit 120 days on Ripple's National Trust Bank application. As Evernorth is at 1.1 billion holding in treasuries. Identity, Singapore company, has got 500 million. Hold on their heels is Weebus with 300 million in their coffers for XRP. It's a real canary in the coal mine, that seeing people throw hundreds of millions of dollars behind XRP just to take it off the exchanges. Speaking of other canaries, we have the ETF, which everyone's aware of, goes live thanks to the 1933 Securities Investment Act auto lapse feature. And when an issuer files that and withdraws the delaying amendment, the SEC has 20 days before the registration becomes effective, immediate, and unless they stop that, adding amendments, as I mentioned. Touching on a wider macro look of things, we will touch on something that was posted up by Bull Theory. So big shouts to Bull Theory on this one. Essentially, overnight repos, which is different to the sort of repos that America is returning all-time highs since 2008, 2009 GFC. The all-time delinquency rates on car loans and home loans is going up. So in response to that, banks have needed the Fed to allow them to buy huge amounts of liquidity back overnight. And that's what this chart indicates here on the Friday, October 31st. It shows that the Federal Reserve has been pumping money into its overnight repurchase agreements with these banks. These are obviously different kind of repos and short-term loans, not for cars or homes, but for pools of liquidity for those banks that need to stay functional. If this number is up, it means that the banks are in significant need of dollars. And please give Bull Theory a follow and go look on what he says and what Dave Sorry said regarding some of the information where it's essentially money printer go. Okay, so along with that, and the uncertainty that the tariffs have recently brought with China and the chaos that's going around with war games and political games and geo-flexing between China and America, it's the stage is set for a very big quarter 4. Because theoretically, every time they've done this and stepped in with quantitative easing, it's spelled great for the bull run. This was the last time they did this was 2019, and we know that it ticked up into 2020 before the crash. So we've officially entered a risk on assets environment, and Raoul Paul, who will be taking the stage with Brad Garlinghouse in Dubai 2025, did say that he believes that we have till the second quarter of 2026 to enjoy this bull run. Some lighter stuff on the agenda. Variable guy having a laugh, telling everyone to act like ludicrous and move, get out the way. Also, we have the reverse Kramer trade in full effect, him doubting $10 XRP before the end of 2025. I'm salivating. I'm all here for it. Completely against what we should start tracking, which is the Claver trade, where it was $10 yesterday. Don't squash me, Jake. Uh, let's do a little analysis on a $5 billion inflow modeling theory. We've all known that the theories out there are to have 5 billion inflows in the first 30 to 60 days. I just wanted to break that down to understand how that could happen and what our minimum to our most extreme could be for cases. So if we give the circulating supply at 50 billion, which is being a little generous, the current price of $2.50 American, and the current market cap would be then 50 billion times $2.50, equating to $125 billion. The scenario of conservative is $5 billion in, 10x multiplier, market cap lift 50 billion, new market cap 175 billion, the implied price would be $3.50. Realistic, and this is my preferred scenario, which I believe to transpire, is 50x multiplier, $250 billion cap lift, and a $375 billion new market cap, resulting in an implied price of $7.50. We do have some more aggressive and extreme prices, which would lift the new market cap to $625 billion and a price of $12.50. I would be extremely happy with that. I just have my doubts that it would move that fast. And $1.1 trillion new lifted market cap to a $22 XRP. I know that that will happen over the next year or so. I just don't think it'll happen in the first 30 to 60 days. So some key takeaways, early inflows, they do have varying multiplier effects based on the coins that have been unlocked. There is also dumping on the market when the price rises, and based on whatever else unlocked supply is available. The redemption rate, of course, does play an impact. Even conservative $3.50 moves are 40% increases. You won't get that on the open S&P 500 every day. The one that I believe is going to happen, $7.50, is 200% increase. So it's great to have hopium, but let's be grounded in reality. On the next 30 days, keep an eye on the ETF creation, XRP liquidity. We know that the order books are very thin on Coinbase right now, on Binance, and understanding the Ripple licensing updates as they move ahead. Macro shocks such as tariffs, rate moves, regulatory announcements all do play a part. I believe, as I mentioned, the realistic scenario is credible enough. I do want to take a moment to explore some of the things that I'm doing. I've been utilizing, obviously, the fib pool here to understand what those true market valuations, taking from the swing high to the swing low of the bear market, all the way through 2023 before we popped up recently to our $3 mark. I do have marked out here $5.40 as the most likely. If you would like me to explore Zebek, Zcash, Telcoin, XMR, XLM, I'm happy to do that as well. Bitcoin analysis, happy to do all that. My portfolio is primarily XRP, and every month I put 12.5% of my net savings into Bitcoin and make a purchase also of 12.5% of my net savings into XRP. I believe dogmatically and unequivocally that we are in the greatest wealth transfer of our generation. I do also believe in some deeper esoterical meanings and spiritual things, but I'll keep things on point for the nature of this channel and the current epoch, which is to put an Aussie bloke spin on how things are going out there in the crypto landscape. We'll keep evolving the content to focus on whatever the community desires most, whether that be in-depth analysis, discussing diversification of portfolios, such as having yourself some hard assets such as silver or gold, as opposed to having monopoly money, which they seem to be printing of more every single day. And officially, I'll catch you on the flip side. Cheers.